It's Raider Week, baby. This time we're in
Haha.
Arrowhead for a showdown on Christmas Day. How are we feeling today?
Good man. I'm ready. Even though we won't be there Monday, it doesn't matter. I'm still gonna enjoy the day with the family and
Right.
enjoy the game. But and it's another Raider week. It's one of my favorite weeks of the year, so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do it, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to handle business.
Handle some
We
business.
stay. We
Handle some
staying
business in
on
Arrowhead.
business.
There's
We're
not going to
staying
be any
on
victory
business.
laps this time around. I feel
Yeah.
pretty good about our chances in this one. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm ready to dive into it, man. There is some Chiefs news we want to highlight though. So quick shout out to Better Homes and of course Katie Lawrence taking care of people.
Yeah, absolutely. She's taking care of the KC metro area. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or build a home, she's going to be able to take care of all that gray area, nitty gritty work that you got to do to buy a home or sell a home these days. So she's going to do all that stuff for you. You won't have to worry about anything. All you got to do is make sure your finances are straight. Give her a call. She's going to square everything else away for you. So be sure to give her a call. 816-868-1920. That's her cell phone. It's going to get you right to her, and she'll get you started on the right path. So, um, to kind of launch into some Chiefs news here, Chiefs miss. So, a couple games on Christmas. As far as the Chiefs' schedules played out so far this year, Dan, how do you feel as a fan having a game on Christmas? But how do you feel as a fan with the way things have played out for Chiefs fans so far this year?
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, we're not going to have an opportunity as season ticket holders to go to the game. I mean, we have the opportunity. We're choosing not to take it to spend time with our family. Plus, our wives
Yeah,
would probably, hang us by our neckties if that
yeah,
was the
yeah. Good
case.
choice of
So, like,
words. Yeah,
so, really not a ton of choice in the matter, but there's been some other tough time slots, right? You're not getting the usual Sunday games. We've had a lot of primetime games at Arrowhead this year. We had a game taken from us and played in Germany, which is fantastic. I know I'm a little bit more of a proponent for the international presence of the game than you are, but I thought that was really great. I just wish they wouldn't have chosen the game that they did, um,
yeah,
the Dolphins game.
yep.
But I mean, two Thursday night games, a game on Christmas, taking a game away from the home team, a game on New Year's Eve, and no noon kickoffs in Kansas City is a tough schedule for fans. I mean, just putting
Yeah,
it plain and
yeah.
simple.
No, you're absolutely right, man. Those games that are on a school night, man. Whoo, they're a
Right.
doozy. That's a doozy.
That's a
Waking
tough
up
one.
at 3:30 in the morning the next day when you get home at 1 and had a
Right.
sauced off a couple beers at Arrowhead. So yeah,
I
I
like the noon kickoff because I can go back home, take like a 3, 4 hour nap, wake up for Sunday night football, and I'm good to go the next day. Those 325ers, man, you're getting the home a little sauced up right when the football game starts at night,
yeah.
and you're just like, I don't know. It's a totally different process to recovery process from the noon to the 325 kickoff. So it's a little
Yeah,
tough either
man.
way.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more, man. Those are tough games, but some other things we want to go through. The old line gets a gift today. They all got souped up golf carts, red flashed out with their numbers on the
Beautiful.
side. They look slick, man. Pat did good.
Oh
So
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes bought, I think, was it 9 or 10 guys a golf cart
However
just
many offensive
yesterday.
linemen we have on the roster, they all got hooked up.
Yeah, I think it's 9 or 10, but, they look sharp, man. I think I saw more stuff on Twitter and social media about what he got the receivers compared to what he got the O-line. There's a bunch of memes out there of people lifting up platters with nothing in it. It's like, this is what Pat Mahomes got the receivers this year. So, that was a fun part of it as well, on top of seeing him take care of the big guys up front who don't get that recognition, week in and week out. So, pretty
Oh yeah.
cool.
I mean, it's obviously a solid gift. I doubt you've ever gotten a custom golf cart with your name on it or anything, but
No,
what's
no.
a good Christmas gift? Probably your most memorable that you can recall, childhood or
Dude,
otherwise.
man, something I'll never forget is waking up. I was probably, man, 10 years old or somewhere plus or minus one. And walking into the living room, 6 a.m., you get up crisp, and
Oh
there's
yeah.
a brand new dirt bike in the living room waiting on me, dude. I was ready to fire that thing up and shred some rubber right there on
Why
the
the hell not, man?
yeah. That's got to be my most memorable for sure. But Christmas has completely changed now with the kids. It's fun. Tate enjoys Christmas now that he's two, so he's enjoying ripping the presents open and doing that whole deal. So
I
yeah,
remember you
Christmas.
showed me some pictures of him decorating the tree, or maybe Katie put them up on social media. Just
Yeah,
awesome. That's the stuff I'm looking forward to when our baby girl comes. That's
yeah,
gonna be
yeah, yeah.
fun.
You'll enjoy it. Yeah, it's a good time for sure. Yeah,
I'm definitely not going to any Christmas games when she's here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's not an option.
So, shifting it from the Christmas side of things, we saw the stuff about Deflate Gate, right? The balls not quite inflated to where they should have been. That's
Yeah.
per the officials from that game. I mean, we're just jobbing my guy Harrison Butker here or what? Like the guy was perfect until that happened. So, I mean, I feel like they should get a draft pick taken from him or something. Like if we're calling it Deflategate 2, let's punish these guys. They're hurting my guy Butker's reputation.
Yeah, I think bottom line, you at least give him the 100% and say he didn't miss a field goal.
Right. Put an asterisk
Take
next to it. I don't give a shit about that. Like, give
yeah,
my
take
guy the
care of my
credit.
man. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, that's where I'm at too. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. I mean, at the end of the day, it didn't affect shit. They're just doing their thing up in New England, and we're gonna roll with it.
Harrison
And nothing will
Butker
happen.
better demand his restitution.
Restitution.
Yeah. He deserves it.
Oh man. Yeah,
So
no,
we
we're on. We're on.
we talked about some wide receiver moves earlier in the week with Sky Moore hitting IR. Kadarius Toney, we'll get into the injury report in a little bit. He hasn't really practiced at all this year or this week.
Oof.
Justin Ross going to be activated most likely heading into this game. We'll actually need some wide receiver help from a depth perspective. It's likely going to be a scenario where we see number 8 back on the field. He has been
Yeah.
practicing the last few weeks, and you know, I don't know if it's ahead of schedule because of the necessity here, but I welcome a new face in that offense or a new jersey in the offense to get some things going, maybe spark some magic with Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, what an opportunity for him as well, where everybody's down on the receiving core. So you have an opportunity to come in, you can make some mediocre plays, and everybody think you're a superstar. So great opportunity to grow on the team. Great opportunity to make a name for yourself on the team. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I think he's got a good opportunity here. One for those things I just listed, but two, against a divisional opponent. And so what better opportunity to make plays than against the Raiders?
100%. So before we get into the Raiders game, right? Let's talk about the rest of the AFC because they're going to have a lot. Like we've already talked about what we need to do to get to the 1 seed in the last show, right? We need to handle our
Yeah.
business, which that includes handling the Raiders. But there's some things that need to happen for us outside of that. And so let's talk AFC landscape and some of these momentum shifting matchups that are left on the schedule. This is brought to you by eCoffee, www.eeroastcoffee.com. It's more than just coffee. It's espresso. It's KC local. It's supporting a brand that's here in the 816. And honestly, there's a phenomenal story behind it. So check them out. I know we're getting close to the end of the holiday season, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be drinking coffee on December 26th or, 1/1 of 2024. You're still going to need that coffee to fuel you up. Go to their website, grab yourself a bag of that coffee, get some holiday blend before it runs out, and definitely enjoy. So, week 16, there's 3 matchups to watch this week, some pretty key matchups. The Buffalo LA matchup was going to be a lot bigger with Justin Herbert being healthy, so we're really not going to dive too much into that one. I think that's kind of a lost cause. But with Baltimore traveling to San Francisco, we are big time NFC fans this week, right?
Yep.
We need the San Francisco 49ers to do what they've been doing, roll these guys in Baltimore, and then down in Miami, they're hosting the Dallas Cowboys, who are just coming off a terrible loss to the Buffalo Bills. They're going to come in
Yep.
motivated. I think if you can compare two teams on the AFC side and the NFC side, there's no two teams that are more identical from an offensive perspective than these two teams. Both of them have a ton of firepower. They've been putting up
Yeah.
points in bunches, and they really haven't beaten a ton of quality teams. So, like, their
Yeah.
resumes are really similar too. This one, I think, is going to come down to the wire at the
Well
end of the day,
said.
but I
Yeah.
think Dallas has a little bit of an edge in this game. I don't know how you feel about those two games, but I'm riding with the NFC this week for sure.
Yeah, no, I think you're right on par, man. I don't think Baltimore's got what it takes to beat San Fran. I think San Fran handles that game pretty well, and then I think Dallas rolls into Miami and takes care of business. I think they're just a better football team all around than Miami is. I think Miami is kind of the one-star
Yeah.
show. One guy pops up here, one guy pops up here. They just can't bring everything together as a team, and against other good football teams, like you said. So yeah, I think NFC sweeps those two games for sure, and puts Kansas City one step closer to where we need to be. So, like we talked about, if San Fran wins, if Dallas wins, then
Yeah.
we are just 2 games away from we got to win those last 2 games or last 3 for as we speak right now, and then
Right.
Baltimore would have to lose one more game. So, like we said, we need Baltimore to lose 2, Miami to lose 1, and Kansas City's got to win out, and then we will steal that 1 seed back.
Who?
Yeah, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
host another
So
one. Come on.
yeah. We need a good weekend this weekend, NFC. Let's go, baby.
All right. Well, that's what the AFC landscape's looking like, really. I mean, I don't know, maybe I go buy a San Fran jersey and a Dallas jersey and just
Sheesh.
like a Deion Sanders jersey, cut those two suckers in half and sew them together and wear that all day.
Yeah. I'm a player.
So we'll move into Raiders week. I mean, the injury report not looking great for the Raiders. Not 100% perfect for us either, tell you the truth.
Yeah,
Chiefs,
yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco still not practicing. Kadarius Toney dealing with his injury, no practice there. Nick Bolton had a little abdomen flare up that kept him out of practice today. So I'm going to be interested to see what goes on Friday with his status on playing.
Yeah.
We talked about it earlier this week, everything that Bolton and Tranquil do together on the field, and we just only had 5 games with them on the field together.
I
We're
know, man.
4-1.
Yeah.
We allow less than 14 points a game with those two on the field. That's going to be big. And then a couple other guys. Donovan Smith, he's been dealing with neck stingers all year long. He was limited this week. Wanya Morris, I think, filled in admirably
Oh yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with the way the Raiders practice sheet looks. No Max Crosby yet. No Josh Jacobs yet this week. No Michael Mayer. So they'll likely just have down to Austin Hooper. I think he's their tight end out there in Vegas. And then Dylan Parham, their young guard, also not practicing up to this point. They're going to be without some key guys too. But looking at this injury report, the biggest thing that sticks out to me is that Mecole Hardman's practicing, and he's still on the IR technically. So that'll be something to watch going into Sunday, just due to all the, depth issues that we're having in the wide receiver room.
Yeah, I'm diving into the left tackle here. Even if Donovan Smith is cleared to play this weekend, I think Wanya Morris is still a solid start. Personally, I think playing Wanya Morris for the rest of the season is smart for the Chiefs. Looking
Oh,
long term, right? I think he is the tackle that's going to start next year, whether that's right or left. I see him bouncing back or forth, but he is going to be a starter next year. So I like to see him play the rest of the year personally.
you're rooting for my guy to get some of those rookie reps in, knock some of
Yep.
that learning curve down so that he comes in ready for year 2. I mean, that's
Yep.
an interesting scenario you brought up, and I definitely want to talk about it because Jawan Taylor was rumored to be our left tackle when we brought him in. And so, if Wanya Morris ends up playing on that right side, we move Jawan Taylor to the left. I'm going to need to see a lot more from him really soon in the season next year to be comfortable with him protecting Mahomes, the $500 million quarterback's blind side.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and I think there's plenty of time for that work. I really do. Really, Jawan Taylor's got to buy into that. If that's the route we want to go, he's got to be bought in. He's got to put in the work and make sure he's ready to rock and roll. Because Man, that is a big deal.
It's probably the most important job on the field. I'd put it up there as top 2 next to
Yeah.
Mahomes' actual job.
Yes. Agreed. All right.
All right.
But
Well,
yeah, best bets.
you want
Yeah,
to get after it?
best bets.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's bringing in by the Atlas. You guys know the Atlas by now. They're
You
best friend of
have
the
to.
show. Yeah, man. If you're listening to the show, you know who the Atlas is. So a lot of opportunity down there to take care of yourself, whether it's gear, beer, or I mean, you can get a growler right here. This thing is 64 ounces. You can go down and get your favorite beer down at the Atlas.
Oh
Place
yeah.
was built in the 1800s. It's got the old school vibe, old school saloon down there, and really a hometown vibe downtown Excelsior Springs. They've done a great job in downtown Excelsior, making that a great atmosphere for people to come visit from out of town and spend a weekend. So if you're looking for somewhere to go, be sure to check out Excelsior. It's a great place to be on the weekend, great place to experience. And then make sure you stop by the Atlas and let them know the Fastest 40 sent you. But
Yes, sir.
Dan, as it sits right now, man, the spread, this is shocking me right now. -10.5. The game last week was Chiefs -9.5. They're projecting us. Vegas got us beaten, got us set right now 1 point a favor over what they had us last week against a New England team. So I'm not really liking that one at all. I don't like the 10.5. But what are your thoughts on that spread there, man?
I I'm surprised you're shocked about it. I'm really not as surprised because typically you're getting that 2.5 or so points from being the home team anyway, and with it being a double digit, like maybe that's like a little bit of the shocking part. Like I definitely expected over 9 points with this one, just even based on what our spread was in the last game we played the Raiders. I think it ended up settling in right around 8.5 or 9 on the road. And so, I mean, this feels right on brand with kind of what we're doing. What's shocking me more about this game is the point total just being 40 points.
Yeah.
Last game, I mean, the Chiefs put up 31 on these guys, right? And the Raiders were able to put up 14 early. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, our defense made some adjustments to tone them down a little bit, and I think they ended up scoring 17 on the entire game. Someone can fact check me if they want, but basically 40-point total seems a little bit low in my opinion, because I think these guys are going to roll. Now, something to consider is that this game is taking place on Christmas and all, and on
Yeah.
Christmas Day, at least here in Kansas City, what I've been hearing around is that it's supposed to rain all day that
Yeah.
day. So, I mean, maybe that affects the total a little bit. They're expecting some weather really to play a part in this game, but I don't know. 40 points seems kind of low. If I'm a betting man, I maybe take the over on that. And
I
I'm a
think
betting
there's a
man.
Yeah, no, I think there's a factor with the Kansas or with the Chiefs thing, right? Or sorry, with the Christmas thing. So
Yeah.
there's a factor when it comes to playing Thursday night football, right? You usually don't see lights out football. Guys are just coming off a game from Sunday, unless they had the bye week. And you kind of see this on holidays as well, where guys aren't 100% in the game. They're not 100% bought into what's going on because they're thinking about, man, I'm missing Christmas at home, or man, I got to catch a flight as soon as I get out of here so I can make sure I'm home tomorrow morning and do everything with my family or whatever
Right. There's some
situation may be.
external.
So yeah, there's factors there, and
Yeah.
they're human factors, right? It's not a big deal. It's just a part of it's part of the game, really. When you when you establish a schedule like this is what we can expect out of the play on the field, and I think that can't be lost for fans when we look at the schedule and how we're shifting games and sending games overseas and things like that. That has to be a factor in how we think about the product that is displayed on the field. So,
For sure.
I think 40 is low, but I think 10.5 is steep, man. And I think
Yeah.
this is like a 9 point game, to be honest with you.
Oh, so
Maybe
real
10.
close at
I
least.
like. Yeah, no, I'm not 3 or 4 points off here, but
Yeah.
I do think this is like a 9 or 10 point game.
Okay. I mean, I could see it end up being a 17-point game, to tell you the truth. Like, I think these guys are, I don't know, maybe it's wishful thinking on my end, but it's starting to feel like the makings of us figuring out our offense, or Andy Reid getting more creative or just like these guys performing a little bit better. I don't know. It's starting to feel like I don't know. You felt it before in a Chiefs season, right? What was it? 2021. We went through like a stale 5-6 game period where we didn't score more than like 21 points. And then all of
Yeah.
a sudden we're erupting. We have the 13-second game. We end up, going up 21-3 on the Cincinnati Bengals, and won't talk about the rest of that. But we break out of these slumps all the time, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I don't know. It feels like that was our slump buster against the Patriots, and our offense is finally going to start removing head from ass.
Yeah, man. I hope so. But to jump into a little bit of props here. So Rashee Rice touchdown is sitting at 145 plus 145 right now. Last week it was plus 175. I think Vegas is kind of figuring out buying into the Rashee Rice stigma here. Mahomes over 1.5 touchdowns. Mahomes pass and rush total is at 290.5. I love the over on that one.
Oh, yeah.
He wrecked the over on the pass yards last week. And then MVS and Watson are a 1.5 reception there. So, that's something to dance around with too. As Mahomes continues to progress and figure things out, those miscellaneous catches where these guys like MVS and Watson come back into play after having such a shitty season, specifically MVS, come back into play and maybe catch 2 or 3 or 4 balls out of nowhere, right? So
Right.
those could be some sleepers there for sure.
For the MVS and the Watson, I was curious which one you would pick. Like if it's down to like pick one or the other, you got $20 on the house, pick one or the other. Which one are you going?
Yeah, no, it's Watson. I think if somebody's more solid in this team right now, it's Watson. I think Pat trusts Watson much more than MVS right now. And I think with the Justin Ross move, he's going to get some more of those slot plays. And I think Watson's going to hold those outside receiver routes.
Another player who's sitting at 1.5 receptions is Noah Gray. Would you take him over either of these guys?
Yeah, I think I would. I think Pat has always trusted Noah Gray, not just this year, but the last 2 or 3 years. Noah Gray has been solid, man. He's got great hands. He runs great routes. He makes great conversions on like third down, second and longs. He always seems to like catch balls on like second and long, where it's like second and 13. You're like, here we go. It's gonna be 3rd and 13. We're gonna have to throw a bomb to somebody, but he catches those quick outs, those quick corners, whatever it may be, and converts those very well. So I love that out of Noah Gray.
Oh, yeah. I think I'm definitely in more of the Noah Gray camp, just slightly over Watson. But Watson also screwed me on my parlay this year at 1.5 receptions. So I'm a little bitter about that. That's the truth. A little bitter. But hey, they don't care about our fantasy teams or our bets. I think that's been pretty clear.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
And why would they? Let's talk about the game, man. How did the Raiders win this thing?
From what we saw last time we played the Raiders, they came out hot, punched us in the mouth. We were down 14-0. I think if the Raiders come out, do that again, and stay somewhat consistent, maybe it's not a score every drive, but if you come out, punch the Chiefs in the mouth, and then stay consistent and hold the clock, then that's going to give you, ample amount of opportunity to be able to finish the game against the Chiefs. I think that's the first thing they got to do is come out strong. And then second for defense, I think they have to win first and second down. You have to set the Chiefs up for that 3rd and long, that 3rd and 7+ to where they're going to have to make a pass play, challenge those receivers to make balls or make plays on the ball, and then generate the turnover and create the short field for your offense. That's hampered by limited Josh Jacobs if he plays, and a rookie quarterback. You're going to have short field for those guys to work with to be able to turn into 6 or at least 3 to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So defense is going to be crucial here for the Raiders to be able to beat the Chiefs this weekend or on Monday for sure.
No, absolutely. I think all of those points are definitely key. I feel like with a team like this going up against the Chiefs, a lot of things have to go right. And so each and every one of those things I think would have to take place. We saw what these Raiders did in the Thursday night game, which reminds me they're coming off 10 days rest. So these guys are going to be pretty well rested coming into this game. But they generated they forced 6 fumbles against the Chargers. and started multiple drives on the other side of the 50 to score that 63 points, not including those
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
six and those
yeah,
kinds of things. But they made the most of those situations is kind of what I'm getting at. They were constantly hungry for the ball, targeting the ball in their tackles, going for the strip, reading the quarterback really well. So they're going to need to be on top of their game. They're also not playing Easton Stick this time
yeah.
around. So, we'll see how much they can take advantage of those opportunities if given any at
Yeah,
all.
sure.
Looking at ways the Chiefs can win, I think it all starts with Rashee Rice. You know what I mean? Getting him back involved in the offense, riding the wave that we've seen thus far.
Yeah,
7 touchdowns for the rookie, ranked second among rookies, set the Chiefs franchise record for rookie touchdowns. And he's like top 15 in several categories, not just for rookie receivers, for like the entire pool of the NFL in the receiving category. Like
yeah,
Rashee
yeah,
Rice
yeah,
is putting up some serious numbers. And I mean, if you were to total things up in the month of December, he's sitting right there in top 5 territory for receptions, yards, and touchdowns. So there's a lot that he's doing, and continuing that progress with him is going to be key in this game, but also for the longevity of our season, right?
oh yeah,
Continuing to push through the playoffs, it's going to be about, building this foundation for number 4 in the offense, and it all starts with the regular season and continuing to do that through. So that's where I'm putting my chips. It's all on, continuing to get Rashee Rice going with all of the limited help in the wide receiver room.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I love that. I love to see Rashid Rice being successful. It makes me really excited for the years to come and to see how he finishes the year for sure, man.
Absolutely. I mean, something else we saw that was great from our offense too was how the offensive line played against the Patriots. Patriots are notorious, right, for getting pressure on quarterbacks, making people feel uncomfortable, scheming up really well for any of your playmakers. And we still got Rashee
Yeah,
Rice involved, even though he had that fumble. We recovered it luckily.
yeah,
Travis Kelce had plenty open opportunities, although he dropped some of those. Those things I think get
yep,
cleaned up a little bit, but that all starts with our offensive line creating a protection for Patrick Mahomes. So that was really big. And then if you're looking at the other side of the ball, it's about forcing that same pressure on Aiden O'Connell, right? We
yeah,
got we got 4 sacks against Bailey Zappi last week, and I mean multiple linemen got hurt in that game. I think they ended up losing their guard and maybe their right tackle, if I'm not mistaken, the Patriots. This Raiders offensive line is not the model of health either, right? We just talked about Dylan Parham having his own injury struggles. So taking
yep,
advantage of
yep,
that moment where they're going to have a secondary guy filling in, there's probably going to be an instance where maybe miscommunication happens or somebody doesn't pick up the right
yep.
blocking scheme in a certain situation. So taking advantage of that, whether or not Nick Bolton's on the field, is going to be key for our defense for sure.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that's exciting, because I feel like defensive line and getting pressure is one of the places that we can really succeed and for the long term. I feel like we have a lot of depth at the D line, a big rotation. I feel really well about that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Anything else we would need to do to like get this freaking dub, dude? Christmas
I,
Day
I
gift?
I mean, control the clock is the only thing else I can think about. Limit turnovers, obviously, that's a big one, but controlling the clock, make sure the ground game is established. Whether that is the short underneath kind of flips that Pat does, or that CEH dominating the ground game, or Isaiah Pacheco, if he ends up playing, if he's going to be healthy, he comes back and rides the same way. If he was on, whatever that run game looks like, I think that's going to be important to the success as well.
Love it. Love it, dude. I'm ready for Raider week. I'm ready to, tear down some black and silver hopes and dreams this holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate everyone listening throughout the year. We'll get some episodes out after this week, and then it's going to be 2024 before you know it. We're starting to line
Yeah.
up some interviews and different things, getting some guests on the show. So it's going to be a lot of fun going into the playoffs and getting some outside perspective from the show. You guys are probably
Yeah.
sick of just hearing me and Trey blather on for half an hour. So we'll mix it up a little bit, get some people on here, and um, hit the postseason on a good note. So let's keep this momentum riding and going into into the postseason, get the 1 seed figured out, and go Chiefs, baby.
Go Chiefs. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everybody. Stay safe and enjoy that family time. Peace.